He-Man sold separately.
Hi, friend.
Hi, He-Man. He's your friend?
Friend and ally. He's just kind of weird sometimes.
Now, for this review, I only want to be known by my Eternia name, Fu-Man. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? No! Hello, my name is Fu-Man! Dang it, I messed it up, didn't I? Anyways, you know what? You might have seen my more recent review of the Masters of the Universe Origins Battle Cat, and man, I love that figure. Now, it seems like forever since San Diego Comic-Con released the He-Man and Prince Adam 2-pack. That was in 2019. Yeah, I mean, seriously, it feels like it's been forever, but it's only been a year. Well, when that set came out, I really wanted it, but it was going for a lot of money, and I came really close to getting one, but I missed it by about, I don't know, a day. But you know what? Seriously, it seems like it's taken forever, but I finally have in my grubby little doll hands some of the figures, and man oh man, did I hit the mother load. Now, my wife went to Walmart the other day and found hanging on the pegs 3 of the heroes, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela. And not only them, but also 3 of the villains, Skeletor, Evil-Lyn, and Beast-Man. Oh, and also the Undertaker, but I think he got lost at Walmart on his way to Eternia from parts unknown. But the less said about that, the better. And unlike the others, he glows. Now, believe me when I say I cannot believe that I have these figures in front of me, and I feel like I've waited forever to finally get to open one of these new He-Man figures. Now, I'm not going to be opening all of these figures right here in this video, but I will be opening the Man of He himself. So let's go check him out, shall we? Today's review will be on the Mattel, and I've never noticed this before, but does that double T look strangely like the Greek alphabet letter for pie? Masters of the Universe! He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
I stand up to guys more powerful than I am all the time.
Now, looking at the figure on the card, this just looks like a vintage figure, but man, it's got all the modern articulation that figures have nowadays, and this just looks absolutely amazing. Equally amazing is this artwork on the back of the package. It looks just as awesome as the artwork on the back of the Battle Cat package, and I absolutely love it. Now there at the top you see a little blurb saying, with the mystical power sword, the mighty He-Man protects Eternia from the forces of evil, which is exactly what he's doing in that picture, because he's got some bad guy at sword point while He-Man's screaming at him, "Includes comic book!" No, wait, he's not saying that. Down here, you've got a little blurb about the figures themselves saying, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new, action-packed battle positions, and that is awesome. Down here you see some of his action features include put his sword in his hand, and down here it says twist his arm, twist his waist, twist his leg, and that is so cool. Now a lot of people point out that he doesn't have like action thunder punch or anything like that, but that's okay. Over here, I cannot believe I have all of those figures. Man, that makes me so happy. Down here at the bottom we got the usual like warnings and stuff like that. Now that can be really forgivable this time because look, they show all the figures in the wave practically, and they've got some really awesome artwork. Man, that is what I want action figure packages to look like. That is awesome. Now, as awesome as this package is, since it's made to look like a vintage He-Man figure package, well, I've seen these packages since the 80s, so there's not a lot I can say about them that hasn't already been said before, and I have been waiting over a year to open this new He-Man figure, so I say we open them! So, here's He-Man fresh out of the package, and I have to say, it was well worth the wait. This figure is awesome. The only downside to this figure is ever since it was announced, before these figures were released, they actually released the WWE Masters of the Universe crossover figures, and I've gotten 3 waves of those figures, so I'm well used to this body by now and the articulation and stuff like that. But I gotta say, finally getting a He-Man with this body is awesome. Everything about this figure just screams vintage Masters of the Universe figures, and this is so cool indeed. His head sculpt not only looks like the vintage He-Man figure, but also a combination of the He-Man from the cartoon and Mark Hamill's hair from Corvette Summer. Looking closely at his eyes, it almost looks like they're digitally put on there. That's kind of cool indeed. His mouth is painted on the old-fashioned way. And yeah, I love the hair sculpt. I think they did an amazing job on that. I do wish it curled under a little bit at the bottom for that more, Dutch boy He-Man haircut, but that's okay. Down here we have his armor, and that looks so cool with the iron cross on the front of it. Looking very awesome indeed. All of his muscles there. Now, it looks like on the figure here on the camera that his arms and his chest are not the same color, but they are in real life. It's okay. But yeah, this looks really cool indeed. And I thought He-Man had like two different kinds of gauntlets or bracers on, but apparently these match, but that's okay. I don't know, maybe it was just the classics that I was getting used to. And then down here we have his legs. Now, as you can see, I've got him posed up like a vintage-looking He-Man figure, with that squatted position and stuff like that. So I say we waste no more time, and I say we look at some comparisons. What? What do you mean I can't use the word comparison in my review? Well, who did we get a cease and desist letter from?
Hey guys, I'm
About to sue me, apparently, so back to the review. It's similarity time, and let's check out the similarities between the vintage-looking He-Man figure, which looks like he stayed in the tanning booth just a little too long, compared to the new He-Man, that is, and then we have the new He-Man, and as I said, you can see he's in the squatted vintage action figure position, and that is really cool indeed. But man, I can't get over how tan this one over here is. Now, this is the Super 7 Filmation release of the vintage-looking He-Man figure. Now, I don't have a vintage one to compare it to, but this one, give you an idea of what they sort of looked like. The head's a little different and stuff like that, and the gauntlets and, the little chest armor and stuff like that. But yeah, he's really tan compared to this new one. I don't know. Jump in the tanning booth there, He-Man. Jeez. Now, looking at the figures from behind, you can see that this Super 7 one over here with the Super Tan does not have the sword holder thing on his back, which made a lot of people sad because you couldn't put the sword on his back. But that's okay. But yeah, you can see right there that they're almost the same exact size. They can get in the same position, and that is very awesome indeed. Plus, if you want this armor here on this figure, you could swap it out if you want. I don't see why not, and that would be pretty awesome indeed. Nope, I stand corrected. Whereas you can undo it, you can't get this piece right here around his waist off without removing the entire waist from the figure. Because a lot of these parts in these new ones pop apart, so you could swap out some different pieces and stuff like that. And you have to take off his head in order to get this strap over his head and stuff like that. But yeah, you couldn't put this right here over his waist without cutting this strap or something like that, whereas this one you can unbuckle, in a couple of different places, and you could totally put this one on this figure, but yeah, there's no way you could put this one on that I know of. I mean, I don't know how to do it, so yeah, forget what I said. And man, that's really hard to buckle back. I mean, these kind of pop apart really easy, but this one over here, it's really tight to pull open and really hard to put back. Now, looking back at He-Tan and He-Man and comparing the differences yet again, you can see their positions are very much similar the way they are standing. But if you do this, the new He-Man can stand up way taller than the vintage one, and that is awesome. Sorry, vintage-looking He-Man figure. There's a new sheriff in town. And what a sheriff he is. Not only can he put his hands on his hips, but he can also pretend to be Randy Orton, one of the evil villains of Snake Mountain. As for accessories, he comes with this really awesome looking shield, which clips on like the vintage shield. He also includes this really awesome battle axe, and his power sword, or should I say, half of his power sword. Yep, just like the vintage toy, it comes with half the power sword, and I'm assuming you have to get the other half with Skeletor. Now, that's really cool. I do love the fact that you can put the swords together. I mean, that's something that I've always liked with the He-Man figures, but I really wish it would have came with a whole power sword, too. I don't know, because when you put them together, the hilts and the tip of the swords never really stay together unless you glue them down, and then you can never pull them apart again. So yeah, I don't think that they've improved it because as you can see, there's no pegs there and there's no pegs there. So them holding it would hold that piece down there, but you're always going to have that split blade there at the end. But you know what? It's still cool. I just wish it would have came with a full power sword too. Especially when you consider that this sword came with this He-Man, but this sword here, this half a sword here, came with that He-Tan that I just showed you, the one with the really bad tan. Now he came with a half a sword too, but he also came with a full sword. Now, why couldn't they have made a full sword to come with this He-Man too? I don't know. But as you can see, the sword shapes are totally different. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But you could always give him this sword if you wanted to, as long as you don't mind the different shape of the sword. I think that'd be pretty awesome as well. Last up, he included this really awesome comic, and from what I hear, all of Series 1 comes with this same exact comic, Beast Barrage. Now, if you look carefully down here, be very careful when you open the package, because sometimes they can get stuck down to the plastic bubble. As you can see, it pulled some of the color off, so just be careful, because sometimes they get stuck. But yeah, this is really awesome, and I love the fact that it comes with a comic. Now, unlike the WWE Masters of the Universe figures, which were only a one-page folded over piece of paper, this is an actual mini comic. Complete with 6 pages of artwork. And man, this artwork is awesome. I absolutely love this. Between this and the box art and stuff showing off all the figures in the line, and then, you know, having that really awesome box art and stuff on the back, man, they are really doing this line right. And because they're doing everything right, I wish other toy lines would take a cue from this line. Man, that would be so cool, because they really need to bring back box art and stuff like that, comic books, little freebies like this. This is awesome. So here's He-Man with all of his accessories on, and I have to say he looks awesome. And until he gets his full power sword, well, he's gonna have to be using that battle axe. Because you never know when the Viper Randy Orton will strike again. See, that's why I said he works for Snake Mountain, because he's the Viper, and... Oh, you get it. Okay, whatever. So anyways, there's my review of the Masters of the Universe Origins 2020 version of He-Man. And man, what a He-Man he is. This figure was well worth the wait, like I said, and is totally awesome. And I cannot wait to open the others, especially Skeletor, because I really want to finish that power sword, dang it. So, until next time, tune in for more Foo Reviews!
Hey, this is Nolan North. You don't want to miss Foo Reviews. And I'm out!